Hello again, everybody. I'm Snapper Lancaster, welcoming you to another edition of the Central Alabama High School Sports Show. It's a special edition. Matter of fact, this is our last show of the spring, and of course, we've started our 17th season and look forward to the fall, but tonight this is the last show for the spring. And of course, we always talk about the spring sports and all the championship teams that we end up having here from the Birmingham area. Folks, I got to read this off to you because I don't want to make any mistakes, but we talk about the outstanding talent that we have in athletics here in the Birmingham-Jefferson County area. Well, just listen to all the teams that have won championships from this spring. Start with, in baseball, Hewitt-Trussville won the 7A crown, and that was the only team that we had win a baseball championship in the Birmingham area. In golf, Spain Park's boys won in 7A. Homewood boys won in 7A. In tennis, Mountain Brook boys won in 7A. And the girls, Vestavia girls won in 7A. In 6A, Walker and Briarwood, but Briarwood here in the Birmingham area. And then in softball, in 6A, Chelsea won the championship. In 5A, Springville won. And in soccer, Oak Mountain won in 7A. The 7A girls from Vestavia won soccer championships. Helena boys won a soccer championship. And John Carroll in 6A won a girls championship. So we had a lot of outstanding athletic teams as far as spring sports are concerned. And talking about that, two of them are going to be on our show tonight. We'll have two outstanding coaches with their athletes from championship teams. So don't you go away. We'll get started in just a few moments and we'll be right back.
You know that you're blessed. Give your taste a whole new spin. Bring your friends and come on in. Take your taste to a different place. It's the taste of hamburger heaven.
The community features a world-class resort and spa. The amazing Robert Trent Jones Trail Golf Course. Miles of historic trails, and the whole family loves the pool at Ross Park. No, are we gonna have to watch your vacation slides all night?
This was supposed to be a party.
Well, this isn't my vacation. I live here.
Ooh.
Good driver discount, multi-car discount, good student discount. Helping you save money on car insurance is just part of the service you get from State Farm agent Jack Traffinstead. Whether an accident or a simple question, Jack and his staff get you the help you need. And that's the value only a State Farm agent can provide. Call Jack Traffinstead today. 40 million drivers already know nobody gives more discounts to more drivers than State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
The next time you need electrical work, whether it be commercial or residential, you need to call Huffman Electrical Contractors. A company that's been in business for over 35 years. They've served clients not only locally in the Birmingham area and all over the state, but have clients outside the state of Alabama as well. Whether it's a new building or remodeling an older building or home, they can handle the job for you. Once again, that's Huffman Electrical Contractors. The number to call is 205-661-5005. That's 205-661-5005. Where at Huffman Electrical Contractors, a satisfied customer is always their number one objective. And folks, welcome back. As you can tell, I'm joined by my first guest tonight, and Snapper's already made one mistake. I said we was going to be joined by a state champion. Well, that's all true enough, but what I didn't realize, and now that he said something, I remember reading it now, it's back-to-back championships for Coach Chris Williams of the Springville softball, and had a little visitor come in. That doesn't bother me if it doesn't bother you, but congratulations, Coach, and first of all, I apologize for getting, it was back-to-back, so. Yes, two outstanding years at Springville. Before we get to talking about that, talk about what has led you to Springville to be the coach, your background, and what led you there.
Well, let's see. I graduated from Hoax Bluff in 1993, and then I graduated from Jacksonville State University in December of 1997. I started filling a maternity leave in March of 1998. I helped my best friend, Chad Hudson, at the time. He was the head softball coach, and so Dr. Harris had asked me if I wanted to help him since we were commuting back and forth, and I said sure. And I was the assistant. He took over the baseball program that very next year, and I found out that summer that I could get a full-time job there starting in the 98, 99 years. And Dr. Harris asked me if I wanted to be the softball coach, and you know, I'd only been around fast pitch softball for a couple of months when he asked me that, and I said, yes, sir, if it gets me a job. And I fell in love with it, and I said after 10 years that I was going to give it up and start a family. But here we are 18 years later, and I'm still doing it.
Wow. So you've been there all these 18 years.
Yes, sir.
And now have not only one champion, but back-to-back champions. But first of all, we'll ask you about that. First, being a defending champion, of course, I tell all these coaches and kids too that you got that bullseye on your back because people are going to be looking at you to beat you, bring you their best shot.
Yes, sir.
You know, all during the season. So talk about that. One, defending your championship, and two, did you feel like that the young ladies were going to be good enough to maybe answer that challenge?
Well, last year we won the first softball state championship in Springville history. We didn't have any seniors. The two young ladies that are here today, Meg Sullivan and Ryan Brown, were my only two juniors. And so we had everybody coming back, and you know, I really thought that obviously if we were able to win it last year with everybody coming back that we would have a good shot. But I have to say that we play in probably the toughest area in the state of Alabama, and I mean, I've got three other coaches that agree that it's probably one of the toughest in any classification with Hayden, Moody, and Mortimer Jordan. And we did we went back and did some research, and since 2006, one of the four teams in our area has played for or won the state championship in Class 5A.
Well, you're right, because you're talking about teams that have had storied athletic programs there in softball, and like you say, there's quite a few collegiate softball players come out of these schools, and so that's once again, that's another feather in your cap. Like you said, it's one of those regions to where if your team is very competitive in the region, then you think come playoff time, you got a pretty good opportunity when you get into state playoffs, don't you?
Yes, sir. This year was, you know, I had someone ask me after we won it this year, Coach, back to back, which one's more special? Well, you know, the first is always special, but I'd given the girls, you know, the analogy that being a parent, and just recently my wife and I having our first child, but it's actually my third. You know, the excitement after one, you're just like, can you match that? But after two and now my third, you know, it's amazing at the excitement that you have. And not only with that, this group having to repeat, the difficulty of everybody, as you said, the target on your back, everybody with the expectation level. Some of the girls experienced some complacency, so to speak, early in the year. Just all the outside distractions, you know, and then us getting down there and losing our very first game of the tournament and having to win 6 straight. This by far was the most, as I think I said to someone earlier, it's the most stressful, it was the most difficult, it was the most nerve-wracking, the most exciting, but in reality the most rewarding of the two.
Well, I tell you what, I've had other coaches talk along the same lines you have. Winning the first championship is always special, but it doesn't matter if it's the second or the fifth or sixth. If you're ever lucky enough to win that many, they're all special in their own right, because each one of them is dealing with a different group of young athletes. I think that's one thing that intrigues me about high school athletes more than anything else, is the changeover that you know you're going to experience, and what a challenge that is for you coaches. But talk about your team from this aspect, pitching, defense, or offense, hitting. What was special about those 3 areas for you?
Well, you know, last year we had a little 8th grader that was a pitcher, that was 5A pitcher of the year, and you know, she's special, but she'll let everybody know that it was the defense behind her, and we played really well defensively. Probably the only game that we didn't play well defensively in the state tournament or even in the regionals combined was the one game that we lost to Beauregard, the first game in Montgomery. But we played very good defense. But this year, I would say not so much the pitching and defense as much as it was our bats. We had so many different kids that stepped up to the plate in different situations in different games. I think, if I'm not mistaken, we hit 8 home runs in our 7 games at the state tournament this year, and every one of them was a changing point or a turning point in each one of the games.
Well, I tell you what, it's a compliment not only to you and what you were able to do, but to your players and the challenge, first of all, of winning back-to-back now. I mean, this is a little more extra pressure on you, but it's the kind of pressure every coach would like, knowing that next year that you got a chance to win 3 in a row. You get to win, and all of a sudden people start expecting you to win, but it's not that simple, because I tell you that the simple formula, and I talk to people, I've been talking to coaches and kids for a long time, it's very simple. You put a good coach with good players. Mm-hmm. Most of the time, there are exceptions to every rule, good things are going to happen. Right. So with that thought in mind, we're recognizing these 2 young ladies because they're seniors on the back-to-back. What does it look like next year? It sounds like maybe you're going to have a pretty good nucleus coming back again.
Well, these 2 over here are special, and it's going to be hard to replace them, but we are, if the girls are dedicated and they realize next year is a new year, we have the talent with the pitching and the catching, the defense. We've got to fill their 2 spots at first base and center field, but we do have the young kids that have the talent to do it. It's just a matter of if they got the heart or the complacency.
Well, I tell you what, as the old saying goes, 1, it'll never get old. 2, you enjoy each one of them. And then you look forward to the opportunity of trying to get a next one, okay? Right. Coach, awfully good to meet you for the first time. Congratulations on 2 great back-to-back seasons. As the old saying goes, we're going to be wondering, what are you going to do for an encore? But good luck to you, okay?
Thank you.
Folks, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, 2 young ladies very instrumental in their back-to-back state championships. We'll be right back.
The community features a world-class resort and spa, the amazing Robert Trent Jones Trail Golf Course, miles of historic trails, and the whole family loves the pool at Ross Park. Now, are we gonna have to watch your vacation slides all night?
This was supposed to be a party.
Well, this isn't my vacation. I live here.
Ooh.
The next time you need electrical work, whether it be commercial or residential, you need to call Huffman Electrical Contractors, a company that's been in business for over 35 years. They've served clients not only locally in the Birmingham area and all over the state, but have clients outside the state of Alabama as well. Whether it's a new building or remodeling an older building or home, they can handle the job for you. Once again, that's Huffman Electrical Contractors. The number to call is 205-661-5005. That's 205-661-5005. Where at Huffman Electrical Contractors, a satisfied customer is always their #1 objective.
And this will be your premium right here.
Sorry to interrupt. I just want to say I combined home and auto with State Farm. Saved $760. Love this guy.
Okay, does it bother anybody else that the mime is talking? Freaky.
Bundle home and auto, and you could save $760.
That's 760 very good reasons to call Alan Gurdeau in Trussville today.
And folks, welcome back. As you can tell, I got 2 outstanding young ladies, young athletes here. Meg Sullivan, they're both seniors. Meg's a senior center fielder, and then we've got Ryan Brown, a senior first base. Now see, I've often thought about changing the language to first base lady, but I don't do that. We know what we're talking about. First of all, girls, congratulations on another fantastic season.
Thank you.
And the first question I would ask Meg is the obvious question. Going into this year, as you headed into the season, did you and your teammates thought that my goodness, we can't have another season like last year, but you end up having a better one.
It was rocky to begin with. We had some drama at the beginning of the season that kind of gave us shaky feet, and we didn't know how it was going to pan out. We didn't know if everybody was buying into the fact that we actually could do it. And then probably come area tournament, everybody was like, okay, we got this. And then it just clicked.
Well, it's strange on one hand, but not on the other. And Ryan, I'm going to let you allude to this a little bit. Talking about it was sort of strange, things weren't going real good. Well, a lot of times that has to do with team chemistry. And so the reason team chemistry is so important is the better chemistry you have, the better you can be, not only individually, but as a team. Now, when y'all were going through the rocky road little part she's talking about here, y'all had to come together in a positive way, or you wouldn't have ended up doing what you were doing and able to accomplish. Talk about from that aspect, how you girls worked your way through it, and all of a sudden the path seemed to smooth out instead of getting more rocky.
I think we understood that we couldn't let the small things get to us, and we had to come together as one, and we had our mental coach try to help us to become a team again instead of being individuals on the team.
Well, now let me ask you, once y'all did start playing so well, did it surprise you how good y'all got as the season went along?
A little, because I knew we were good, but we had gotten so much better than last year. So it did surprise me that we had come that far.
Well, see, the one thing, and I wonder if it ever bothered you girls, and I said told the coach this too, you know, when you win a championship and you don't graduate, and you're coming back the next year, there's that bullseye on your back, because you're going to get the best the other team has to offer. Right. So with that thought in mind, how did you, Meg, approach this season? What did you expect out of not only yourself, but your teammates?
I knew that everybody was coming for us. Like the team that we were in the state championship with, they beat us all 4 games of the regular season in the area tournament. And then when we got to state, we beat them twice when it really mattered. So we knew that everybody was gunning for us. And me personally, I was just trying to do as well as I did last year, just trying to get the team to victory. Yeah,
and continuing on that thought, Ryan, did you put any extra pressure on yourself to, we got to defend this title? Or how did you go about handling your personal game? All you wanted to do, I guess, was improve and be the best you could be, and everything else would sort of fall in place.
I thought that we had to do it for each other. So my main focus was trying to just help the team come along and do it as a team. I didn't really focus on me as an individual.
Yeah, well, I think that you've got the right attitude. That's the mentality that every coach looks for out of their athletes, is us and not me, and what we can do together and not me can do. So that's terrific. Both of you are seniors, so I'm going to ask this, Meg, where are you off to college next year?
I'm going to play at Itawamba Community College.
You are, so a scholarship?
Yes, sir.
Good, okay, and how about you, Ryan?
I'm going to University of Alabama at Birmingham.
Are you? Are you going to play softball?
Yes.
Well, good. Now, I know you're going to be athletes there, and I don't know how far that will take you. So with that thought in mind, there's an academic side to our athletic experience. And I tell young athletes all the time, first of all, you are student athletes. You either qualify in the classroom or you don't get to participate in that sport you love so much. So with that thought in mind, we're going to talk about the academic side of it. And what I mean by that, what would you like to do one day when you graduate? What kind of courses are you going to take? What do you hope to be one day, if you've got an idea?
Well, I thought about nursing, and then I think I decided that doing that and softball would kind of be a lot of pressure, so I kind of changed my mind a little bit, and then it's all up in the air right now.
Well, you know what? Up in the air has always been positive for people, because sooner or later we're going to come back down and we're going to settle. But let me ask you this one question then. I know you've been an athlete a long time. You participate in any other sports other than softball? Okay, softball only, right? All right. Now, if we don't make it in professional softball by the league we'll create by then, what do you think you might do for a living?
I don't honestly know.
Well, I like that. That's a good answer. But the other question that I would ask along those lines, have you ever thought about being a softball coach? Would that intrigue you or not?
Yeah, maybe. I think I like to work with younger kids, like not high school level, maybe middle school age, like when you're first starting out in travel ball.
Yeah.
I think
but-
that would be fun.
Well, you can always work your way up the ladder, right?
Right.
Okay. Now, Ryan, you can't escape this. Now, what do you hope to do one day? Have you got an idea yet? What kind of subjects are you
I would
thinking?
like to either be a dietitian or a college softball coach.
Really? Okay. Now, considering that you don't end up a professional first baseman somewhere, okay, and you end up doing that kind of thing, has coaching ever appealed to you? Okay. Because a lot of times players, they feel like they want to share their experience with younger people. What better way to do that than to be coaching? And along those lines, Ryan, I'd ask you this question. If a young girl come up to you, because believe it or not, girls, both of you being seniors, there are a lot of younger girls that look up to what y'all do. What would you tell them would be a reason why they should play softball and what it's done for you, it can do for them?
Because it's fun, it's a great experience, and it gives you an opportunity to get a bigger family.
And if that little girl said, golly, Meg, I want to be just like you, what reason would you give her to chase that dream?
I would say if you want to be successful, then just keep working every day.
Well, that says a lot, because whatever your craft is, however good you're going to be at it, we have to work at it, correct? Okay. Now, tell me something about yourselves that I might not know. I know baseball players are crazy like this. Wonder how you softball girls are. Do you have any superstitions or something you feel like you have to do, and if you don't do that, it's not going to go well? Or are you just one of these people that say, I'm going to let it fly, and whatever happens, it's going to happen?
I mean, like right before I step into the batter's box, I always twist my bat a certain way.
Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, if you twist it the wrong way, we don't get the home run, right?
Right.
Well, that's pretty good. What's it with you, Ryan?
I have to do the same routine every time I go up to bat. Every time.
Every time.
Every time.
Who hit the most home runs out of you girls?
I do.
My goodness, a power hitting first baseman.
Yes.
That goes a lot on your resume. Well, girls, I tell you what, I'm tickled to death to meet you. Tickled to death you're back to back. I remember reading that once, but it didn't stick in my mind, but Coach pointed it out, and rightly so. Very seldom do kids win one championship, much less two in their high school experience, so congratulations for that. Now, as we end our little interview, the one thing that I would ask you girls to this point in your young lives, who's been the most inspirational person or persons? And we'll start with you, Meg.
I would say my parents. I don't think anyone outweighs the other. I think that just both of them, my dad always tells me to go hit, no matter if I just came home from practice or whatever, and mom's just there to support me every step of the way.
Okay, how about you, Ryan?
Absolutely, my parents.
Well, I tell you what, that's a great answer, because none of us would be nowhere without good mom and daddies, right? Girls, once again, congratulations. Awfully nice to meet you. And going off to college, 2-time state champions. That's sweet, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
And so, folks, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, another coach, more champion athletes. Don't you go away. We'll be right back.
And this will be your premium right here.
Sorry to interrupt. I just want to say I combined home and auto with State Farm. Saved $760. Love this guy.
Okay, does it bother anybody else that the mime is talking? Freaky.
Bundle home and auto, and you could save $760.
That's 760 very good reasons to call Ted Townley in Homewood today.
Take your taste to a different place. It's the taste of hamburger heaven. A taste of heaven is always best. Now you know that you're blessed. Give your taste a whole new spin. Bring your friends and come on in. Take your taste to a different place. It's the taste of hamburger heaven.
The community features a world-class resort and spa, the amazing Robert Trent Jones Trail Golf Course, miles of historic trails, and the whole family loves the pool at Ross Park. No, are we gonna have to watch your vacation slides all night?
This was supposed to be a party.
Well, this isn't my vacation. I live here.
Ooh.
And folks, welcome back. As we talked about earlier in the program, we had 2 championship coaches tonight. We visited with one, and now we've got the other one. And of course, we're talking about Zach Morgan, the head soccer coach at Helena High School. And Coach, first of all, good to see you. Secondly, congratulations on that state championship.
Appreciate
and
it,
the
Snapper.
second year of the existence of this school, so that's got to be pretty special.
It is pretty special, and that's something that we talk about that we brought up even last year when we got to the semifinals and lost it. I just kind of explained to these boys that this is special. This doesn't happen all the time, so we really appreciate that.
Well, very quickly, this being the second year that you've been the coach there, tell us a little bit about your background and how you ended up there.
Okay. I'm a graduate of Berry High School, 1994. Played soccer there my junior year. Did not play my senior year. I was actually also in the band program and had gotten a scholarship in music.
That's visited me too. That's twice tonight. That's a first for us, Chris.
But continued to play soccer in the adult leagues. I'd been coaching pretty much since I was 15 or 16, helping out the smaller teams. Went back to school for my master's, decided to get back into coaching, helped at Vestavia Hills High School with the girls program there. Their JV, then moved to the Oak Mountain JV team. Got my master's, and my first actually teaching and coaching position is at Helena High School.
Wow. Well, the thing that I would ask you, now it seems like you've been around soccer a long time. Talk about, from your situation, the growth that you've seen in high school soccer in particular, because it seems to be growing yearly.
Yes, sir. Even when I was back in high school, it was kind of like on a constant rise, but not as what you see now. You see a lot of the smaller cities, such as Helena, their soccer programs are starting to gain some momentum as well. So you're starting it from the smaller cities, getting the city leagues involved, and then slowly growing the program. So I see with smaller, Alabaster at one point in time was a pretty small up and coming program. Now it's gotten a pretty big program there. Helena's moving toward that direction. I was part of the Hoover program early on, and it's even gotten bigger. So you start to see the growth, especially in over the mountain. But it's also reaching into the inner city schools are starting to have soccer programs and starting to have some good consistent programs as well.
Well, now, let me ask you this question about the soccer programs in particular. Most of the kids that play soccer, some of them play other sports, or do a lot of them play club soccer?
There is kind of a split, I would say. There are some that will play soccer, wrestle, track, that will come to the soccer program. And that's a lot more, especially in the ladies. A lot of the volleyball, basketball girls will also come over and play soccer. But with the boys, I would say most in the over mountain aspects, a lot of them were playing club ball in the fall.
And so you may have some that participate in other sports, but mainly their club soccer or just their priority is that soccer
Correct.
Sport.
Yes, sir.
Now, being the head coach, I know you're responsible for the schedule and all. Are you one of these coaches that believes in playing that tough schedule because you know you want your team peaking at the right time come playoff time?
I tend to do the tougher schedules because if you're not playing the higher competition, you're not getting better. If you find yourself, on top of the heap, you're not going to get better. I would prefer to play a mixture, if you will. I will play some medium teams, some really good teams, and then every now and then I've got to help somebody else out too. A lot of the teams that come and ask me, some of these smaller programs that want to play me, I will play them as well because they need the competition as well. So I pretty much have a mixed bag schedule, if you will.
And so from a coaching soccer standpoint, talk about the support you get from the community, because all the high school sports depend on community involvement from businesses and from parents and the coaches, of course. But talk about the kind of support that y'all have there in the Helena area, especially as it concerns your sport.
We have actually a great community. Helena has, especially the mayor, the city, and the schools have really helped us a lot. A lot of these kids came from Pelham, so they already had kind of a soccer tradition there. We kind of like took it at Helena, kind of built our own program, and now we're area rivals with Pelham, and so we've kind of taken that and created a community trophy that we take back and forth. But all that does is help us with the city and with those people, sponsors and so forth. We've had a lot of love from Helena.
Well, going into this year, did you expect when the season started that this young group had the capabilities to put together the kind of year they did?
They had the capability. What I challenged them with after we lost that semifinal game was, were they willing to put in the work to get there? Did they have the ability and talent? Absolutely. Did they need to get in the weight room? Did they need to get a little bit faster? Did they need to put the work in to get there? That's what they needed to do, and that's what I challenged them with, and that's what they did over the summer, and they did the work.
Well, the one thing that I ask a lot of these coaches about with different sports is, do you think that maybe you have found your niche, and your niche is high school soccer, or it's not out of line to ask a young coach such as yourself, do you have aspirations of moving higher up in the ladder?
I got my master's degree to teach history. I love history, and I love soccer, and I love music. I've found my niche because I can do all that in high school. Do I have aspirations to be a college coach? Not at this time. Not at this time. I've kind of, like you said, found my niche. Kind of, I'm teaching AP history at Helena, coaching the boys soccer, and every now and then helping the marching band. So I can't really complain. Can't lose. No,
well, talk about just for a second, as we get the time passes by so quickly. Talk about the situation you find yourself in with the high school soccer. Do you see the growth even becoming bigger, and maybe it becoming more of a major high school sport?
I think it will. Most of us, especially like as you said, most of us play soccer, and I actually still play soccer as well. We see it as a major sport. Now, like I said before, you see it outreaching not just over the mountain kids where you would expect a lot of that exposure. Now you're starting to see the inner city kids play, and I'm glad for that. That's why I would like to play. We play some of those guys, especially during area play. So I'm glad to see it spread even more. So yes, I think eventually it will become a little bit bigger.
Well, I tell you what, the main thing is an outstanding season, a championship season for you and your players, and I know you enjoy this experience, look forward to the challenge of maybe another crack at it next year, but congratulations and awfully good to meet you.
Thank you, sir.
Folks, we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back, some of the players from that championship team. Don't you go away. We'll be right back. Land of Frost Premium is America's best-selling 1-pound deli pouch, now available in 12 delicious flavors, including new flavors of mesquite turkey and cotto salami. High school athletes across the country ask for Land of Frost by name. These great items are available at your local grocer, including Piggly Wiggly, Food Giant, Western supermarkets, and many more. Land of Frost also makes other varieties of lunch meats, including deli shaved bistro and sub sandwich kits. Land of Frost is a proud sponsor of youth sports as well.
The community features a world-class resort and spa, the amazing Robert Trent Jones Trail Golf Course, miles of historic trails, and the whole family loves the pool at Ross Park. Now, are we gonna have to watch your vacation slides all night?
This was supposed to be a party.
Well, this isn't my vacation. I live here.
Ooh.
Take your taste to a different place. It's the taste of hamburger heaven. A taste of heaven is always best. Now you know that you're blessed. Give your taste a whole new spin. Bring your friends and come on in. Take your taste to a different place. It's the taste of hamburger heaven.
And folks, welcome back. As you can see, I got 3 outstanding young soccer players from the Helena Huskies, championship soccer players, I might add. Brennan Brown, a junior midfielder, right? Ivan Aguirre, a junior center back.
Yes,
And Jake Daly, a junior, also an outside backer, right? Yes, all right, guys, first question, and it's the most obvious question. Going into this season, Brennan, did you think you and your teammates had the makeup to put together the type season you did?
Well, last season we had a good run, got to the semifinal, and I think all the winning as a first-year school kind of got to us, and we didn't really expect the type of competition that St. Paul had. So they took advantage of that and they took us out, and so we knew that over the offseason we were going to have to work a lot harder and that we were going to have to come out this year and play our hardest, and so we were able to get all the way back and we got to the semifinal and played an undefeated Alabama Christian Academy team, and we played our hardest that game. I think that we played the whole season, and we ended up winning that in double overtime and then got to play in the final, which was our goal this year, and ended up taking them out 4-0, and so all that hard work paid off.
Well, terrific. I've been going into this season. Did you expect this kind of success? Or first of all, what did you expect out of yourself, and then what were your team goals?
I mean, I came into Helena. It's my first year at this school, so I didn't play with them last year.
Oh, okay.
I came from Pelham. I mean, I started off as a JV player, but big shout out to my coach for pulling me up. He believed in me that I can play with Brennan and Jake and up on varsity level. So he pulled me up halfway through the season, and I just kept grinding and getting better like my teammates. And
well, one question that I would ask from you, did y'all end up playing Pelham during the year?
We played them twice.
So was that a good experience for you?
Yes, the first game I played JV down, so that was kind of a bummer. But the second game, I came up and I played against my old teammates and friends, and it was just a great atmosphere for both of our teams.
Yeah,
and a great game.
Great. Now, Jake, how about you? Going into this year, did you expect this team to be this good, or did you feel like y'all had a lot of work ahead of you?
We definitely had a lot of work ahead of us, and I mean that really paid off. Extra runs in off season, extra days hitting the weight room, keeping each other accountable, always going to play with each other, and just extra practices, staying after practice. But I definitely thought we could at least make it to the semifinals again, if not win it all like we did this year.
Well, good. Now, the one thing that I would like to ask you guys about very quickly is most athletes are superstitious. And I don't know about soccer players. I haven't talked to them that much about this. But with that thought in mind, do y'all have any kind of superstitions that would surprise us and idiosyncrasies that you feel like you have to do each and every game? We'll start with you, Brennan.
Not really. It's just usually the way I get ready for the game is just like where I put the tape on my ankles and on my wrists. It's just everything has to be the same every game, or I'll feel off.
Yeah, it's sort of like the baseball players. It's ritual. Like they feel like they got to do it, or they're not going to play their best that day, right? Ivan, how about you?
For me, I don't wear tape or anything. It's just my music before a game.
Really?
So I have some certain music to get me in my mode and just get me motivated and focused on what's about to happen in the 90 minutes of playing.
I was going to say it's whatever turns you on or gets you pumped up and ready, right? How about you, Jake?
Actually, I have this certain pair of lucky green underwear I wear before big games.
Yeah, lucky green, money, the color of money. Yeah, right. Okay. Well, the obvious question is before every game?
Only before the big games.
Oh, well, that's right. Well, that's a sort of different spin on it. Well, I tell you what, guys, is there a team that you've enjoyed, and Brendan, we'll start with you, competing against more than others? Is there a natural rival for you guys?
Probably playing against Pelham is probably the favorite team that we get to play against. Like Coach said, we have the rivalry trophy that we have every year now, and we went to school with them for a year and got to know all of them pretty well, and the coaching staff there. So getting to play against them, getting the chance to, go out there and possibly beat them and take the trophy from them is fun.
When I know players are sort of superstitious or feel like they can play better at home or away. With that thought in mind, Ivan, you feel like you play better away? A lot of players feel like there's not as much pressure if they're not playing at home.
I feel like I play better at home because I feel like I have more fans and people out there supporting us rather than playing over there at their place where they're used to their surroundings and stuff.
Yeah. How about you, Jake? Do you enjoy home or away, or does it matter?
It doesn't really matter to me. I just want to go out there and play my hardest regardless of where I am.
Well, the two try to get in a couple of quick questions here. What do you enjoy doing for relaxing time when you're not playing soccer?
A lot of us hang out and play FIFA with each other, so I mean, I guess that's still playing soccer, but we either go and play soccer at the complex together, play FIFA together, or sometimes we go to the pool and hang out.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, guys. First of all, I got one last question, but I want to congratulate you on your championship, okay? But to this point in your young lives, who's been the most inspirational person or persons? We'll start with you, brother.
Probably my parents. My dad used to be in the Army, and my mom was around for a lot of the beginning of my soccer career. And my dad was like a big baseball player and fan, so when he found out I was playing soccer at first, he was like not really on board with it. But then like he came back from being overseas and coached a lot of my teams, and now he's probably a bigger fan than my mom.
Okay, Ivan, how about you?
I have to agree with him on my parents and my sister for just believing in me and giving me time and the support that I have.
And Jake?
Definitely my dad. He's always there.
Okay. Very quickly, I think that's Cameron. Cameron, come here real quick. I'm going to get you on. We got to hurry because we have a time deadline. Come and stand right here, folks. This was going to be the other young gentleman, Cameron Beard, right? Yes, sir. And he was on the championship soccer team too. We wanted to get him in here, and sorry he was late. We're under the gun right now. Like I said, last show of the spring. Hope to see you this fall. Till then, you know what the snapper always says: bicycle.